Hello, I'm Penelope Mavor, and welcome to Earth Converse podcast, where we explore our relationship and conversations with the earth, all in the hope of inspiring a deeper connection with ourselves, each other, and the earth that is our home. And I have Luigi Viscardi here. He's calling in from a beautiful island in Pantelleria, and he is the managing director of an amazing, innovative olive oil company, Exhibit A, Fattoria
Triboli.
Triboli. And I met Luigi in a Vipassana retreat. We were volunteering, and I was really struck, really touched by his story, because he had been in international development and relief, and he was taking a year off. He was turning 40, and he was taking a year off to really think about his life and what he is to do, and he really wanted to go into sustainability, and he ended up studying in sustainability, and he's taken that to the company now and establishing that. And so we're gonna duck and dive. Oh, benvenuto, ciao. So why did you say yes to this podcast, Luigi?
Mm, First of all, thank you for inviting me. Because I said yes because I've never been invited to a podcast,
Good.
and I wanted to brush a little bit my ego. So I said, okay,
Good.
let's accept. No, mainly because I find the earth connection important to me, and I wanted to see how I can support this type of communication.
Lovely. And what is it that your Earth Converse, connection? And because I do feel like you're really connected to the land. And yeah, so what was your earliest childhood memory?
Mm, running in running on trees or on the soil and get dirty and this type of things and enjoying it. So
Yeah.
being outside.
Being outside. And how did that evolve? Like, how do you see about your connection with the earth? What is how would you describe it?
It is a challenging question, but let's
Good.
say I will try. How I would describe my connection with the earth? My connection with the earth is myself, in the sense I am the earth and the earth is me, and this is the connection. So
Mm,
actually, it's more than a connection. It is being part of.
yeah. Is it a feeling? Is it a just a knowing, or is it?
Um, no, first of all, knowing it, and then when I am aligned with myself, and when I am, let's say, in centered, also feeling it. Then
Mm,
when I am distracted and disconnected, not feeling anything.
yeah, give us a little snapshot of your life.
So yes, after university, I went to already before graduating from university. I found an internship in Brussels. I went there for selling boots. I was selling boots of an exhibition, so 12, 24, 36 meter square boots or stand, contacting all type of possible let's say, brand interested in coming to this exhibition. And
Mm.
then you contact, I don't know, 10,000 possible people interested. And then out of 10,000, you have 200 interested. Out of 200, you have 20 that come and participate. So I spent, my role was mainly spending all day on the phone and trying to persuade people to come to this exhibition. And so Brussels, and then after 1 year and a half in Brussels, the European lifestyle, everything comfortable. I wanted something more exciting, and so I started to apply everything available in the humanitarian sector. And
Why the
after, I think again,
humanitarian sector?
because the humanitarian section allowed me to travel and at the same time to do something meaningful for my life. Meaningful and purposeful, no? For 2 reasons: traveling plus, let's say, using my time for something I believed into. And then, yeah, so again, same principle, no? The one that I applied for the for selling boots, I applied when sending application. I sent 10,000 application. Out of 10,000 application, 200 gave me were at least replied. Out of 210 were interested, and suddenly one one Italian NGO sent me as a first mission to the south on a humanitarian deployment south of Iraq in 2004, Basra and Nasiriyah, and then I was based in Kuwait City because the security issues. And then I spent there 1 year and a half, and after 1 year and a half in this type of context, of course, I had something to sell to other organizations. 2004, October 2004, Pakistan, big earthquake, again, Muslim country. So my 18 months in a war context in a Muslim country where became a sort of a strength to sell to other organizations in order to convince them to send me to Pakistan. So I went to Pakistan in the mountains, 12 months. And then after Pakistan, Congo, RDC, in the middle of the jungle. Always at the beginning, when you start this type of humanitarian sector, you're always sent in the field. The field, it means in remote areas, not really coordinating role. No? And after 1 year in Congo, I don't know why I have always been attracted by the Pacific. And so I sent, I think, 50, 60 applications to organization in Australia to work in the Pacific, and no one ever even replied. When suddenly one, hey, Luigi, would you be interested to go to Papua New Guinea? Yeah, sure. Boom, went to Papua New Guinea, 1 year and a half again. And then after 3-4 deployment, I started to have an interesting CV, and everything became easier. So after Papua New Guinea, earthquake in Haiti. So 1 year in earthquake in Haiti, Port-au-Prince. And then after Haiti, what did I do? Haiti, back to the Pacific, Samoa, 1 year and a half. Beautiful place, Samoa is like a lost paradise island. It's really, really far. And then after Samoa, yes, three years in Vietnam. Beautiful country also, Vietnam. And then, yes, and then I stopped after 3 years in Vietnam. I said, Vietnam very difficult because of the languages. So Vietnam is still not many people speak English. So the first 1-2 years were very, very intense in terms of integrate and understand the culture. So after 3 years in Vietnam, I just wanted to have a break, and I took 1 year and a half where we met.
Stop there before you do that, because that's such, in every, you say it sort of like a CV, like just sort of running through, and they're incredibly big experiences. I don't know, what have you got to say about all that? If you can package it all about yourself.
It was an amazing experience, first of all, because it grounded me very, very strongly, in the sense I had the opportunity to see diversity and to see poverty, and therefore I think is grounded in me the difference between illusion and reality. So, and therefore this was and nowadays I use this strength in a sense. I'm always grounded. It's difficult that I fall for something that is not concrete and real. Fall in the sense, I don't know, you know, about our society, you know, that there are a lot of things shining, but there is without anything behind, no? And then
Oh, hold on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Carry on. Sorry.
and then also the other things, yeah, and then the diversity, you know, really seeing, you know, the, the diversity of the world. That's something that can be read in one place, in the other is upside down, and or I don't know, Fafafini, for example, in Samoa. They are considered at the top level of the society, when no, in Europe they are considered Fafafini are transvestite, no? Or so the culture diversity of thinking, of reasoning, of putting a logic frame in mind in the minds of people, particularly in the Pacific, because it's really another world. And that's it.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you know, I think it's sort of like, yeah, they're just so profound. I mean, I think that in terms of seeing, you know, devastating, yeah, poverty and also, no, the humanity in all its forms, and incredible. But I like this idea of this sort of illusion and reality, and where you can ground yourself. I mean, even how do you, when you're going from place to place, feel grounded? Like, is there something that helps you connect with the earth, with the people? Is there
Ma
something that you
sì,
do?
sì, at the end of the day, cioè, also no, within the diversity, let's say that it's like a theater. We may compare it to a theater where the scenery change, but at the end the actors are all the same. So human beings are the same all over the world. So
Yeah, the commonality. And what do you, in terms of in reflection, like, I mean, there's lots of things, you know, about, there's a consciousness about white saviorism, you know, there's white middle class, you know, people going, particularly men going into the, you know, international development sector, white supremacy creating that need in the first place, the war that led to that, or the, you know, so in, I don't know, have you got any reflections on that whole white savior thing in the international
bah,
development relief?
yes, if you consider that 60 or 70 years ago there was a world war, and 80 years ago there was another world war. So human beings are evolving, and it is part of the evolution.
But like, you went over, you eventually did it because you were interested in it because you wanted adventure, you know, get out of Belgium and comfortable of Europe, and you want, you know, there's an adventure, adrenaline seeking thing, and there's also something you want to do, you're value driven, you want to be meaningful. Has that sort of, yeah, in hindsight, because when you, that was, you know, a number of years ago, you started out there, would you go back into that? Like, do you see it differently now with Black Lives Matter, and, you know, that there's a real sense of looking at our own white supremacy?
It depends how people behave, how people say, if you do if you give your contribution, that's fine. It's not that I don't pretend to change the world, and neither to make human beings evolve faster. Time is needed in order to evolve.
Yeah.
So if after 40, 50 years there is still supremacy, yes, there is, but it's definitely going to end. It's just a matter of time. And this is part of the human being's evolution, understanding. And of course, it would be better if maybe it wouldn't exist, but we are a species that learn from mistake. And this is the way how we evolve.
Yeah, we do need that pain and suffering to wake us up. I think there's something about that's what it is. I'm also just sort of going back about sort of connecting with Earth. I love the idea that a friend's just come back to Mallorca, and she talks about in Uruguay there's a the saying about your soul. You might be physically there, but your soul takes a while to arrive. And so I mean, did you feel when you're going from, because a year and a half here, a year and a half there, how do you still feel grounded in all those different places?
But then, I think there is a human connection in the sense, no, if you treat the others with other people with respect and you value them, so this connection is established very fast. It's not that.
Yeah, that sort of humanity of wherever we are. Are there any particular stories you want to share? I know you've got.
No, I have so many. I have so many stories. Every mission, we call it mission, in the humanitarian sector. But every deployment was really a chapter in itself. Because also I grew up in each deployment. I was facing different challenges, and I had to manage these challenges. So it was also opportunity to grow as a technical skill in the sense of general management, but also as a human beings. And at the end of the day, really, just go in a place and you start to do what you're supposed to do, valuing the other people, listening to the other people, and gradually, redirecting things as you would like to redirect it in according, sharing idea, involving people, participating.
After Vietnam, it was sort of like basta. It was, but yeah, it's just sort of.
Yes, it was like 12, 10 years, 10 years in the field. I wanted to have a break, and then I also had a little bit of money to allow me to have this break. So I said, yes, why not?
But that's also, I love the sort of the why not, but who, like not many people take a year out in that. I think that's really sacred. And I know, I just.
Maybe this is my Italian side, that maybe I'm more comfortable and easygoing. No, if I can have holiday, I definitely will take it.
Dolce la vita. Well, no, but it wasn't a holiday. Even, it's actually even difficult to not work. Like people working, we can disguise ourselves behind that work or having to do something or having that structure, having our ego being massaged because we're in a certain role. I think it's, to step back from that. So what did you do in that year?
What did I do? But first of all, I took 6 months just doing nothing, really nothing. It wasn't so difficult for me to achieve this very challenging task of doing nothing.
Wasn't it a bit of healing, though? Was it a little bit of your own body and your mind, like healing?
You just I just focus on other things, on what I like. So I slowed down my pace. I meditated. I just traveled. Just chilling, cruising from one place to the other one without really having something must have to do. Just doing what you feel like doing.
Yeah. I think it seems like you were quite curious at that time, sort of following your nose. I mean, I know that you do that anyway, but just sort of like, oh, what's there? And, what's here? And yeah. So that was the first 6 months,
And then I wanted to study because in the humanitarian sector is sustainability. Everybody speak about sustainability because of course it's very important. Also, there is an evolution. In the 70s or 80s, there were this humanitarian aid. So then after the white supremacy was leaving the country, the project collapsed. So it was very important having a sustainable approach. And I never understood what meant exactly sustainability, you know,
Yeah.
because everyone had different idea and no one knew exactly what it was. And so I think I took advantage of doing a master. I wanted to further study, and sustainability was something that I wanted to explore more and better understand. It's also a modern science, so I thought it would have been helpful for my future. And I went to Swiss I went to Sweden to attend and participate and enroll in this master study. So it was a 10 months process, challenging, transformational, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, tell us more about the detail of it and detail of that transformation and what it was. Yeah, what really struck you and.
First of all, we were 50 people from 32 countries, something like that. Age group from 22 till 45, 50. So it was very diverse. And now when you put this type, when you blend all these people together, of course, it can be only fun and very interesting and challenging as well. No? And then I really got what I wanted to receive. So I received knowledge, scientific knowledge about sustainability. Plus there were elements of leadership and then element of strategic management, because mainly to move the society from unsustainable to sustainable, what you need is, of course, understanding sustainability, and then you need to be a leader in order to move the society, and then you need also strategic management in order to mainstream sustainability, or in a community, or in a company, or even in your own house, or in your own self, no?
Yes, yes, and we'll get into that because how you've actually applied that. But what was sort of also the your own inner transformation? Was it about, because I know that you wanted the knowledge in terms of feeling secure about that, or was it about I can really step in as a leader there, or what was it?
See, mainly the transformation is that who studied this type of topic, you can imagine, let's say are the modern or the hippie, sort of.
Yeah. Yes, we need
So I
sustainability to be mainstreamed. You're quite, yeah.
see you don't find, let's say, if you go and study an MBA, most probably you find people that come from bank, or from business, etc., etc. If you go and study sustainability, you find a bit of mix of everything, but let's say there is a majority that is a sort of have a hippie mentality, without saying anything. Not really hippie mentality, but people that easygoing, take it easy, like traveling, uh, grounded to earth.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you are surrounded by this type of people, they inject in you, or they help you to understand a lot of things that maybe I was not exposed before. No?
For example?
All type of leadership related to spirituality, leadership related to community development, this type of tools that are more into the circle of life, this type of things that are a little bit considered hippie, no?
Yeah. Yeah. And but
But
that's not effective, yes.
the transformation is it, I think nowadays, not the society gradually is integrating these type of things into the day-to-day management.
Yeah.
Then of course depends which society and which company, but the future company will be like this.
Yeah, and moving that, and I think once again it's the diversity of perspectives. When you've got diverse thought, and actually it's that mix and integrating. Everyone's learning from each other. The banker's learning from the hippie. The hippie's learning from the banker. And I think it's also part of ourselves. Part of me is a banker, part of me is a hippie. And it's sort of when we meet people like that, we can feel even more resourceful and expansive, can't we? Mm. Yeah. And you fell in love there.
Ah, yes, I met a girl from Spain, and then I ran out of money, and therefore I just jumped on the first available job, and suddenly I found myself in Nepal, in
Mm.
Kathmandu, where I spent 1 year and a half, and she came with me in Nepal, and then it was a challenging situation because not I realized not everybody is made for this type of. It's not easy, let's say, to adapt to
Yeah.
new society, new context, very different society. Um, there is people that is more connected to family, to network of friends. For me, this type of things.
Mm.
My friends are where I am, Echo, and
Mm.
I don't need to have my network of friends with
Mm.
me. See,
Mm.
then we broke up, and what more? And nothing. I was in Tuscany, starting a new job. Started to attend different type of seminar and different type of things that was interesting to me, and also suddenly appearing in front of me by destiny or chance. One thing pulled the other. I enrolled in a coaching training, and I became a certified life and relationship coach.
I love that. I really love that. So tell us about that. What's your approach in terms of life and relationship coaching?
Ma mainly it is to helping through coaching, helping people to become more aware of their behaviors or their way of thinking, their convictions, way of acting, and therefore, no, once that people or human beings are more aware of their conviction, way of behaving, and then understanding the root and the cause of this type of behavior or conviction, then they relate to other people, first of all to themselves, and second to other people in more accurate manner.
Mm. And what have
So,
you learned about yourself?
what I learned about nothing, I'm perfect.
And if you were coaching yourself,
I, no, what I learned about myself, many things. No, sometimes it's easy to play the victims. Sometimes it's easy to blame the other. Sometimes it's easy also to run away. Sometimes for me it's very easy, black or white. No, or it's this or nothing.
mm,
No, and then no, gradually I learned that is an aspect of my character, that
mm,
always black or is white, but actually there are a lot of grays tone. What more recently, I was reading a book, and there are different scar. All human beings have scars. And recently, reading this book, I realized that I am affected by a scar called tradimento. So
you've
when
been
you are affected by
betrayed or mm,
betrayed. So when you are betrayed, then you put the mask of the fugitive every day. So you run away from because you are betrayed. You don't want to be anymore in this type of situation of being betrayed, and therefore you run away. I learn many things every day about myself.
yeah, lovely. But that's a lovely consciousness, and not only your own journey, but also helping others and seeing that. I love that. I love that you're doing that. I also think, going back to the leadership part, is that actually coaching skills, I think, is the most fundamental leadership skill and tool, because you are really helping the person unleash their own potential. You know that the other person has got the wisdom, and they just have to look inside themselves. And I think if actually more leaders took a coaching approach, in their organizations and their communities, they would, it would be helping us unleash human potential. I believe fundamentally in it. You know, it's part of my, yeah, executive coaching is a core part of my Earth Converse. You know, create coaching programs to help people do that. I really fundamentally believe in it.
See, definitely. No, I use it in my everyday. But well, first of all, no, a lot. Now in our in our farm, no one. The shop was closed. This didn't work. The excuses. Everyone know that these are only excuses, and we need to get the result done.
Being, you know, people taking responsibility and actually feeling sort of empowered by that, and you know.
See, I think it's a process, but at the beginning, you know, there is some people that is more easy to take into this type of let's say path, and others that obstacle because they don't understand and they are convinced that it's not because of their mistake, but because of the mistake of another. So, but no, we are all diverse.
Hey, and tell us, so you did the you're in Toscana, you're doing the leadership and the life and relationship coaching, and so yeah, tell us about the trip to the journey to Fattoria Triboli.
I was in 2018, May 2018. No, I took a break after Nepal, 3-4 months. When suddenly a friend of mine called me and asked me, I'm buying a property in Florence, in Tuscany, in Florence. Why we don't try to take advantage of this and do run the property in a way to do something beautiful about it. No? So we talked a little bit, and we came out with the solution to try to become a worldwide leader of high quality, top quality of extra virgin olive oil.
Why not? No?
Where quality means not really only the content of the what is in the bottle of oil that is purchased, but quality means I mean quality is not only the oil, which of course need to be the really best quality, but quality is also environment, climate change, treating people, so social and environmental sustainability. Ecco.
But it was the perfect opportunity, isn't it, to put literally all your learnings and your passions together.
An opportunity, then of course interested me, and I wanted. So it was an opportunity to work with friends. It was an opportunity to do something. As you said, food is something that attracts me. Quality food, for healthy food is something that I believe into. So it was something that yes, an opportunity that in tune with my chord.
Yeah, really.
and therefore yes, let's try. Yes, let's do it. Even if I can tell you so it wasn't easy to. So I miss a lot, particularly the first 3, 6, 9 months, 12 months, the humanitarian sector, because now first of all, I rarely practice my languages. The biggest diversity is maximum is from another region of Italy. So before, no, it was speaking, changing languages, shifting from one language to another one like this without even noticing, multiculturality, so having friends from all parts of the world, having dinner maybe with 8, 9, 10 nationality on the table. So now if there is people from another let's say commune, is already a lot, very diverse.
Well, that's kind of nice, because you can go not the extremes, between the black and white. You find the diversity in the smallest,
See, because at the end we are all diverse. That's true.
We
So,
are.
so at the beginning, yes, it was really, really, really difficult.
But I can imagine, but also the adrenaline, I think, of the humanitarian sector. It's a totally different country, and there's this sort of this urgency to help. So it's a different pace, with olive harvesting, you know, it's a totally different time and patience. Like you're really, in many respects, slowing down.
See, exactly. It's very different. And then step by step, the project took shape. From one, I was alone at the beginning because my friend, of course, he was part of it, but mainly at the beginning, he let me, let's say, I am the managing director, so it is my responsibility to do it. From one that we were, when I started in May 2018, now we are 8.
Yeah.
So let's say is no, when you are 2 already it become more interesting. When you are 3 it become more interesting, because you have a responsibility to each other, and then it's more fun to work in team than alone. And then you learn from each other, and then the project now really took an interesting shape, in the sense that now it starts to become fun. At the beginning, when you are alone, for me it's a little bit boring. Working alone, I don't like it.
Well, for sure, yeah, because you know, from what I know, you know, it was always, you know, in terms of connecting people, I always thought of you as sort of a, you know, trying to get, yeah, I don't know, different ideas from different people and that energy of that.
Sì.
And I guess, but I just love this momentum. It's just a beautiful, yeah, beautiful momentum that you're creating, and also just how you're communicating sort of externally, like either social media, that fun element. It seems you know, it's a big value that you're fostering, nurturing together.
Sì, then no, it really became something interesting because we are doing, we are really, let's say, how to say, we embraced a type of agriculture which is uh, highly traditional, but at the same time very innovative, because it's a type of agriculture as agriculture was made 200 years ago, before the Industrial Revolution. Is a type of agriculture which is 100% sustainable. Is a type of agriculture that help fight climate change. So it is
What do you mean in
becoming,
particular? How, in what way?
because we do regenerative agriculture, and the regenerative agriculture have the objective to increase the soil fertility. First of all, you don't need to put any adding things. In the sense, more a soil is fertile, and more the plant and the roots find all the nutrients element within the soil, without the extra outsider. No? And second, a fertile soil, it means a soil rich in organic material. When you have a soil rich in organic materials, you have a soil that, in case of intense water, it can absorb this water better and prevent landslide, for example. In case of intense scarcity of water, a fertile soil, of course, because it's fertile, because there is humus, there is organic material inside, it can resist for longer time to scarcity of water. But the agriculture, as is the conventional agriculture made in the last 100 years, is decreasing the fertility of soils. So let's say nature is the perfect sustainable thing. If there are olives that grow fruit that grows, then nature wants that this fruit go on the floor, on the soil, and then it rotten, and then the soil absorb again, and then is grave to grave process. No?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, absolutely.
So when we remove the fruit, so we remove this element from the soil. So what we do, we put other things, so for example, other things which is always, we prune. When we prune our trees, instead of burning the leftover of the pruning, that of course is CO2 in the air, etc., which is a common, let's say, habit. What do? We cut it very fine, and then we give it back to the soil. So in this way, the soil then gradually absorb it and become step by step organic material. So let's say the regenerative agriculture is a way to move from linear to circular agriculture. So all the waste become a resource. So before the waste, or before most of the conventional agriculture, the waste is burnt. So we turn this waste into a resource for our farm and for the soil, and then we use it.
Super. Yeah.
See, so this to say that at the end is becoming more just than producing extra virgin olive oil. It is have a meaning, have a purpose, and then of course the oil step by step now is becoming good. We are winning prizes, so it's a high satisfaction.
Yeah, wonderful. And it's it's a beautiful oil and a beautiful bottle. So tell us about the steel.
See, this is steel is a stainless steel bottle because no, the big enemy of extra virgin olive oil are the light and the oxygen. So in this bottle, first of all, there is no light at all. It's totally dark inside, so preserve the nutrients of the extra virgin olive oil at the maximum. And then is a type of bottle conceived with a very thin neck, and therefore the amount of oxygen in it is minimum.
Yeah, nice.
And then we use it because it's a stainless steel bottle. This can last forever. First of all, is the stainless steel. The steel is 100% recyclable. First, and second, it can last forever. So when you finish your extra virgin olive oil bottle, we also sell a bagging box of 3 liters. So you have your bottle of 0.5 and 3 liter, and you refill it. Then if you don't want to refill it with our oil and you want to refill it with water, with wine, or with whatever you want, you can refill it with other things.
Do that.
But we are at the beginning, now we really need to focus on improving the packaging and making our concept is less is more. So everything related to our package need to be functional. We don't want to have that you receive our extra virgin olive oil box and after 2 minutes you received it, your dustbin is full of paper, plastic, etc., etc. First of all, zero plastic. We don't use plastic, and except at the moment for the part of the cork that we didn't find any alternative yet, but we are working on it. This year we will focus on our to have 100% eco-friendly packaging.
You will. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful product and wonderful vision, and so tell her, like, because there's learning, like, white privileged male who has multicultural, a real understanding of the world and how it works. And really this passion and knowledge of sustainability, and you're working with you're putting that in practice with your own your own company. And I guess sort of what and this coaching, the coaching style. So that's a good role model to me, actually. And we need our leaders to step into that. So what is, and you're a practical guy. So how can we mainstream, coaching sustainability, enlightened executives, as I like to call them.
See, but it is wake up call. No, I try to give it every day in my small world. I give my contribution, but and then there is also a lot of people that don't want to wake up. They really like their comfort zone, and it's not that not everyone want the same. There's people that like the sense of security, safety, and day-to-day routine, and they are also free to embrace their lifestyle as they think is the best for them, as they think. No, but many times I also try to give wake up call to people, but they don't want to hear it, or because maybe they are lazy, or maybe because maybe they are so far to this wake-up call that they don't understand it, or maybe because waking up, it would means realizing that maybe a lot of years have been wasted, I don't know. But there are so many reasons that so what I do, I try to do it for myself, and I try to do it for the people that surround me, and
yeah. And so have you got any advice for anybody, or anything you want to particularly say?
Any advice? See, being greedy for learning, for challenging yourself, and yes, and understanding who we are in terms of our soul, our as a human beings. Yes, trying every day to improve who we are.
And what are your daily practices to, about your soul, your connection with the earth? What do you do? I mean, you obviously do some reflection, but
See, I drink 2 bottles of red wine every day.
Oh, that too.
No, alcohol, of course. Also, we live in a society where alcohol it is something that we. I don't, but people use it. No, I think it's. But anyway, it's good. Sometimes I also drink and I enjoy alcohol. No, but I try to avoid it and to use it maybe once per week maximum, something like that. But what I do, I meditate. I have coaching session with my coach. I read. I do some sport.
But in terms of your connection with the, like have you got I don't know. You're saying it, it's it's part of you. The earth is part of you. But is there anything that you do in particular to sort of nurture that connection explicitly?
I think meditation.
Yeah.
Explicitly, I think is meditation for me.
You feel that. Yeah.
Or my dog.
Yeah, let's see, pun. Yeah. But you are a real animal lover. I mean, you're always rescuing animals, aren't you? So yeah. I think it's funny. I think I explained it on sort of, or had a view on episode 2, and I said, like some people are really comfortable talking to their dogs or their cats, but then won't sort of feel the same way as talking to a tree. It's funny,
yeah.
Like how we're different. Yeah.
Sì,
But
sì,
it doesn't even have to be talking. It's just feeling connected with that spirit, isn't it?
yeah. Sì, so yes, meditation, and then isolate. I like also to isolate myself as much as I can. As much as I can, at least yes, at least once or twice per year. I think is very important to disconnect from everything and from everyone, and to reconnect or reconsider what I'm doing, if I can change, if I can do something better, and then learning. So I always find training or course to be part of, in order to not remain. Because after it's like, you play soccer. If you don't play soccer for 5 years, you become fat, and
But you are
and
really
you're not
curious. You
anymore
are.
able to play soccer.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are curious.
So no, I always try to volunteer here, volunteer there, in order to be connected to what I think is important for me.
Yeah. Really respect that when in terms of you needing to be away, and disconnect yourself, and those periods of solitude. I think it's a lovely thing that you could commit to your own self. So thank you so much for turning up for this conversation, Luigi. And yeah, and I highly recommend a bit of product placement, but I highly recommend viewers go and order your oil.
Ah, yes, yes, thank you. Sì, ma then no, I think yes. So thanks to you for inviting to and for showing some interest in what I do and.
Yeah, of course. We'll put a pause here and